Now let me tell you something that might sound a little backwards to modern ears, but it's the kind of backward that turns out to be forward once you've lived long enough to see the curve. Lao Tzu once said, "Those who stand on tiptoe do not stand firm. Those who rush ahead do not go far. Those who try to shine out dim their own light." Let that roll around in your bones for a second. I reckon he wasn't just talking about posture. See, most folks these days are out here hustling like their souls are on fire, climbing, grabbing, building, branding. They're dead set on improving themselves. Better habits, better body, better job, better life. And sure, ain't nothing wrong with a little healthy striving. But the thing is, most of them are paddling upstream so hard and so long, they don't even notice the river's going the other way. What Taoism says, and this took me years to truly sit with, is that trying too hard to fix life often breaks it worse. It's like trying to straighten a river with a ruler, or prune a wildflower into a bonsai. You're not helping nature, you're taming it, muzzling it. Now, the world's full of systems, ethics, codes, 10-step plans, you name it, all built with good intent, sure. But Lao Tzu warned us that the more rules and regulations there are, the more thieves and robbers there will be. That's his way of saying the more you try to control life, the more chaos you create. Human-made frameworks may look noble, but often they're just fences we build around the vastness of experience. Why? Because deep down, folks are scared of not knowing. They want certainty, so they slap a name on everything, label it, categorize it. This is good, that is evil. That's right, this is wrong. And in doing so, they miss what Lao Tzu called the unnameable, the Tao itself, that quiet, flowing current that underpins everything, yet can't be boxed in or spoken out loud. Let me put it this way. You can read every book in the library and still not understand a tree. There's an old line from the Tao Te Ching that goes, 5 colors blind the eye, 5 notes deafen the ear. What that means is the more you cram into your senses, your head, your spirit, the more you lose your connection to the real rhythm of things. You get overstimulated, overcomplicated, and over time, overwhelmed. I've seen it happen. Folks build towers of meaning, stacking bricks of morality and ambition so high, they forget the feel of dirt under their feet. They chase after definitions like dogs chasing cars. Meanwhile, life, real, unfiltered life, is just trying to whisper through the leaves if they'd only hushed long enough to hear it. But here's the good news, neighbor. You ain't got to keep chasing. You don't have to have a perfect plan. All you've got to do is pause, let go, sit still. The Tao won't make sense to your mind, but your spirit already knows it. That's why silence feels like home. That's why walking in the woods can heal what years of talking couldn't. Now don't mistake this for some lazy man's gospel. The Tao isn't about quitting. It's about aligning. It's not passivity, it's participation, without control, like a canoe drifting down river, steered by a steady hand that don't fight the flow. When you live by the Tao, you don't need to improve your life the way the world teaches. You don't need to climb ladders someone else built. You just start to remember who you were before the world told you who to be. So here's my advice, from one weary traveler to another. Breathe slower, step softer, judge less. Quit trying to shine so damn hard and let your light glow the way it's meant to. Let your roots go deep instead of your branches go wide. And remember, you're already part of the pattern. You've always been part of the way. Next time you're out there scrambling, trying to get ahead, remember what Lao Tzu said. Those who rush ahead do not go far. So don't rush, just walk steady. You'll get there. Or maybe you'll realize you were already there the whole time. Now let's talk about something that runs mighty deep, but sounds simple enough to slip right past you if you're not paying attention. You ever been so caught up in something, painting, fishing, driving down an empty highway, that you forgot yourself? I mean, really forgot. No planning, no judging, just doing? That, my friend, is what the Taoists call Wu Wei. It's got a ring to it, don't it? Rolls off the tongue soft like a creek through willows. Wu Wei, sometimes folks try to translate that as non-action. But let me tell you, that's a poor choice of words. It ain't about sitting on your hands. It's about moving with the current of life instead of splashing around like a fool trying to swim upstream. See, in our world, especially nowadays, we've been sold the gospel of grind. Work harder, push more, force the outcome. Be productive even when your soul's crying for rest. We think effort equals progress. But the old Taoist sages, they saw through that illusion like smoke in the wind. To them, forcing things was a kind of violence, not always loud and obvious, but subtle, a slow erosion of harmony. They understood something most modern folks miss. The universe is already in motion. Everything changes. Everything flows. You don't have to push the river. You just got to learn how to float without flipping the boat. Like Lao Tzu said, those who try to control the future are grasping at wind. Let me put it another way. Ever try to untangle a knot while you're in a hurry? The more you yank at it, the tighter it gets. Sometimes the best thing to do is set it down, breathe a bit, and let it loosen on its own. That is Wu Wei. It's the archer who breathes before the shot, the fisherman who waits without fussing, the artist who lets the brush guide their hand. It's action without strain, effort without ego. And here's the kicker, it does not mean we stop growing. A lot of folks think that if you quit forcing things, nothing ever changes. But that ain't true. Nature grows, rivers cut through stone, trees reach the sky without rushing. The Tao itself is movement. The progress is built in, but it ain't loud or flashy. You ever hear the grass growing? No, but it's growing all the same. The Tao Te Ching puts it like this: often the solution comes not by striving, but by allowing. I've seen it in my own life. The times I tried to fix every damn problem I saw ended up creating more mess than I solved. But when I stepped back, breathed, and gave things space to settle, well, wouldn't you know it? Life had its own way of working things out without me playing the hero. Now, I ain't saying sit around and do nothing while your house burns down, but I am saying learn when to act and when to wait. Learn the difference between control and wisdom. Wisdom listens, control shouts. We've built a whole culture on control, on chasing, on fixing ourselves. But most of what we call self-improvement is just a prettier kind of self-rejection, like painting the walls of a house while the foundation's cracking. Wu Wei invites you to stop all that noise, to return to what already is, to trust that the deeper currents of life know where they're headed, even when you don't. So here's my humble advice. Next time you feel yourself tightening up, pushing too hard, or rushing headfirst into the unknown, pause. Ask yourself, am I swimming or am I being dragged? Maybe you'll find that the best thing to do is simply stop, let go, let the wind catch your sail. And maybe, just maybe, you'll find yourself exactly where you were supposed to be all along. Not through struggle, but through surrender. Because the way, well, it don't need your permission to work. It just needs you to listen. Let me tell you something that might sound strange at first, but you sit with it long enough, it'll make all kinds of sense.
Most of what we call normal life, it ain't natural. It's habitual, sure. Popular, no doubt. But natural? No, sir. See, somewhere along the way, we started building a life that runs against the grain of who we are, like paddling upriver every single day and wondering why we're always tired. Now, why is that? 1. Our values got crooked. We started chasing things we don't truly need and fearing things that might actually help us grow. We're terrified of being broke, but obsessed with hoarding money. We fear being alone, but crave belonging so bad we lose ourselves trying to fit in. We worship success, but deep down, we don't even know what success means anymore. Like the old saying goes, the world honors wealth, fame, and long life. It finds joy in peace, good food, and beauty. It despises poverty, obscurity, and misfortune. That's not just some dusty Chinese scroll talking. That's the world we live in right now. Folks walk around thinking if they ain't rich, liked, or young-looking, they're failing. But you can be broke and whole, unknown and wise, old and radiant. Problem is, nobody teaches us to look that way anymore. Now ask yourself, do you live by your own values or someone else's expectations? Because let me tell you, chasing someone else's idea of a good life is like trying to grow corn in sand. You can work hard all you want, but that seed ain't ever gonna sprout. 2. We wage war against nature. Here's the truth most folks avoid. We're so smart, we outsmarted ourselves. We built cities, systems, ideologies, whole civilizations on trying to override the natural flow of things. We don't trust the soil anymore. We spray it. We don't trust our bodies. We fix them before they're even broken. We don't even trust silence. We fill it with noise. We think more control equals better outcomes, but often all we get is more stress, more sickness, more suffering. Lao Tzu said, "The more laws and restrictions there are, the poorer the people become. The more rules, the more thieves." He wasn't just talking about governments, he meant our minds too. We fill our lives with rules, how to behave, how to succeed, how to be better. But better according to who? Instead of trusting the wisdom already in us, the quiet knowing that grows like grass in spring, we bulldoze it to plant artificial flowers that look nice but don't feed the soul. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not against progress. I'm just saying not all progress is growth. Some of it's just noise dressed up like wisdom. The Tao, the way, ain't rigid. It don't run on deadlines or Instagram likes. It breathes, flows, adapts. It listens. And so should we. So when life feels hard, when the world feels hollow, maybe the answer ain't more effort. Maybe it's less interference. Maybe it's time to sit still and remember how to listen to the wind again. Because nature, true nature, it don't scream for attention. It just is. And that's more than enough.
Let me tell y'all something that took me most of a lifetime to understand. Some of the biggest troublemakers on God's green earth are the folks trying to save it. Now, don't get me wrong, good intentions matter. But when someone wakes up in the morning with fire in their belly and a mission to fix everybody, well, that's usually where things start to go sideways. We've seen it before, haven't we? Folks full of ideas about how the world ought to be. They charge in with rules and revolutions, thinking they're going to clean up the mess. But more often than not, they just make a bigger one. The savior complex. Back in the old Taoist texts, the Zhuangzi for instance, there's a story of Confucius talking to a young follower. The young man wants to ride off to the kingdom of Wei, try to talk sense into a cruel ruler, preach him some kindness, some virtue, save the day. But Confucius stops him, says more or less, if you don't understand the hearts of people, and you go in preaching mercy to a tyrant, you're just using his flaws to boost your own pride. See? That's wisdom.
You don't heal the world by forcing it to be better. That ain't how nature works. Lao Tzu put it plainer than I ever could. Do you want to improve the world? I do not think it can be done. The world is sacred. You cannot improve it. If you tamper with it, you'll ruin it. If you grasp it, you'll lose it. There it is, simple as black coffee. The world's not broken. It's just not built to suit our ego. The chase that wears us down. Now let's talk about happiness, that shiny carrot everybody's chasing. Money, fame, power. Folks think if they could just get enough of any of that, they'd finally be at peace. But you know what happens? The more they get, the less it means. And their bodies and their minds start to wear thin from the grind. Like Lao Tzu said, the rich wear themselves out storing more than they can use. This is a superficial way to treat the body. Ain't that the truth? We treat ourselves like machines, then act surprised when the engine breaks down. We measure joy by bank accounts and likes, then wonder why we feel hollow when the sun sets. But peace ain't found at the end of a chase. It's found when you stop running, trying to be somebody else. And if chasing happiness don't get you, trying to be somebody else surely will. There's a little fable from Zhuangzi I was liked about a centipede who envies the snake. Says, "You move so smooth with no legs at all." Snake says, "Well, look at the wind. It has no body." Then the wind says, "Don't envy me. A child's finger can stop me." Every creature's got its nature. You don't need what the next fella's got. You just need to be you, fully and clearly. But people don't see it that way. They cut off what makes them different just to fit in, like chopping off a sixth finger because the world says five's enough. Lao Tzu nailed it when he said, "When people see things as beautiful, ugliness is created. When people see things as good, bad arises." All this comparing, categorizing, it divides us from the Tao, from what is. The truth is, nature don't waste time wishing it was different. Oak trees don't envy pine trees. Wolves don't try to purr. Only humans do that, and we suffer for it. So, next time you feel the itch to fix the world or to remake yourself in someone else's image, stop and breathe. Maybe it ain't the world that needs changing. Maybe it's the mirror we keep polishing. Sometimes the kindest thing you can do for the world is leave it be and be truly yourself within it. Now we come to the heart of it, friend. Not just what to think or feel, but how to live. You've heard a lot by now about the dangers of trying too hard, the trap of comparison, the stress of chasing. So maybe you're wondering, what's left? If we ain't supposed to chase happiness, fix the world, or become someone else, what do? Well, the old Taoist masters had an answer. It ain't loud, it ain't flashy, but it stood the test of time. Let me walk you through it. 1. Follow the middle way. Like the old Taoist saying goes, follow the middle, stay with constancy, and you will preserve yourself whole. This ain't about lukewarm living or playing it safe. It's about balance. You do not burn your fire too fast, and you do not let it go out. You stay centered, not pulled this way or that by every craving or crisis. You walk the line between extremes. You learn the art of enough. Enough ambition to grow, but not so much you lose your soul trying to win. 2. Practice a fast of the heart. This one right here changed my life. Trying to change nature is as useless as breathing on a clear mirror to make it clearer. That's from the Zhuangzi, and it means this: sometimes the problem ain't what we're doing, it's what we're clinging to in our minds. A fast of the heart means letting go of beliefs that cage you. It means loosening your grip on what you think should happen and letting what is happen instead. The mind gets noisy, but when you quiet it, something wild and real comes through. Call it God, call it the Tao, call it what you want, but it can only speak when you stop shouting over it. Number 3, move with the flow, Wu Wei. Last but not least, the pearl of the Taoist path, Wu Wei.
Translated, it means non-action. But that does not mean doing nothing. It means not forcing. It means doing the right thing at the right time, in the right spirit, with no strain or struggle. It's like sailing with the wind instead of against it. Lao Tzu put it best: Wu Wei, the art of not trying, leaves nothing undone. Now ain't that something? You stop striving and suddenly everything begins to align. Not because you gave up, but because you let the world be your partner, not your opponent. So how do you live well? Walk the middle road. Fast your heart from judgment and control, and move with the river, not against it. That's how you live close to the Tao. Not by being perfect, not by knowing everything, but by being available to the truth when it comes and humble enough to follow it. And here's the thing, friend. You do not have to save the world. You do not have to impress it. You just have to stop betraying yourself for it. Live true, live light. Speak little, listen deep. You do not have to run after life. If you're quiet, life will find you. So sit a while, let the wind speak, and when you're ready, take the next step. Simple, clear, whole. The way is not far. It's right under your boots.